What's going on? It's the narrator here back again. It seems like once again the KaeperTricks, as me and LVZ still goes is still going on. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just go ahead and I'm gonna let my man Shannon Sharp get out here and let him explain it to what happened. Y'all enjoy the video.
I'm not surprised. Skip, how about let's do this? I'm going to give the Tennessee Titans the benefit of the doubt. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, that Marcus Mariota is out for 1 to 2 weeks. It would be a waste of their time to bring Colin Kaepernick in as the third quarterback, considering that Matt Castle is on their roster. They should have brought Colin Kaepernick in before, instead of signing Matt Castle to an extension, because wouldn't you say, let me see, I know a guy that's not employed currently that was Marcus Mariota in the NFL before he was. You really wouldn't have to change anything, because here's the narrative that, Skip, if you bring Cap in, you got to have two offenses. You know, you got to have one for your starter, that's the drop back quarterback, and then you got to have a special offense suited to his skill set.
Yep.
Wouldn't you say Marcus Mariota and Colin Kaepernick's skill set is very, very similar? More so than Marcus and Matt Castle?
I would say.
So what you should have done is brought Colin Kaepernick in and make him the backup to Mariota, and then bump Castle down to the third guy. Skip, I just don't get it. It's become abundantly clear to me that these owners, while they tell you they care about winning and the NFL is a talent-based business, we know that what Colin Kaepernick did 14 months ago has a lot to do with why he's not signed. And for the mere fact, it still continues to happen. So there are pockets, not as much as it once were, but there are pockets of guys that are still kneeling, they're still sitting, they're still raising their fist. So these owners are constantly reminded of what Colin Kaepernick started 14 months ago and what they're trying to send to him, and all the others that might think somewhere along the line they find a cause deemed worthy of they want to take a knee and raise a fist for. You see what happened to Colin Kaepernick? Now, if you want that to happen to you, you take your butt on out there and you take a knee during the anthem, or you raise your fist, or you take a seat. This is what's going to happen to you. Skip, they said they kicked the tires. They signed Brandon Whedon, so obviously he was one of the guys they kicked the tires. Matt Barkley, Matt McGloin. Skip, they have a combined 56 touchdowns, 67 INTs. Colin Kaepernick has the second best interception rate to pass. Skip, you know who he's behind? He has second. You know who has the number one? Aaron Rodgers. He has the fifth best touchdown to interception ratio in NFL history. Now, they've been playing football since 1920. Colin Kaepernick has the best touchdown to interception ratio, fifth overall. There are a couple of guys that's currently playing, like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Maybe you've heard of him. And this guy, Derek Carr. But those are some of the guys that he's behind. Fifth best. All the quarterbacks that's played. Touchdown to interception ratio. Colin Kaepernick. Now, they tell you it's about winning. And they say, well, you don't want that distraction. You know what I hate worse? What do I hate more than distraction, Skip Bayless? Losing. And that's what Brandon Whedon did a lot of. Losing. And Matt Castle, I've never seen a guy get more shelf life out of going 11-5 for Coach Belichick some almost 10 years ago as this guy. I've seen guys that win Super Bowls did not get the shelf life that a Matt Castle gets. So if you're trying to convince me that Matt McGloin and Barkley and Case Keenum and Austin Davis and all these guys are better than Colin Kaepernick, save that. Save your breath, because you might need it somewhere along the line, down the line. But there's no way you can convince me that Brandon Whedon is a better NFL quarterback than Colin Kaepernick. Neither is Matt Castle. And so this narrative that, well, you have to run a separate offense, you would have to run the same offense for Marcus Mariota as you did for Colin Kaepernick. And guess what, Skip? Marcus Mariota going to get hurt again. Because what we've seen from his history is that he gets hurt a lot.
He does.
So don't worry about it. You travel down this road again, and I hope it doesn't. But his history says he will get hurt again. And then what? Because you know Mike Mularkey is the head coach. Didn't he coach a guy in Pittsburgh named Cordell Stewart? Mm-hmm. So he should have some idea or some familiarity of how to deal with these mobile quarterbacks.
This is just wearing me out. What are we up to? Same song, 29th verse? I don't know what we're up to. It just seems like week after week after week.
We're doing the remix version, not Skip.
We're on a remix. So first, the painful irony. May I speak as a Cowboy fan?
Sure.
This is pretty superficial compared to what you just spoke of, but do you realize this is making Cowboy fans revisit the nightmare of 2015 in which Matt Castle and Brandon Weeden attempted to fill in for one Tony Romo in Dallas and went 1-11 in place of and behind that same stud offensive line. They were all there. Mm-hmm. That was a better offensive line than this year's offensive line. 1-11. Matt Castle beat Kirk Cousins on a Monday night at Washington.
Yep.
That was the one. So, here's the painful irony truth to me. And I was on record before the Jameis Mariota draft, and I'm going to take it a step further. Want to know the truth of this story? Colin Kaepernick is better than Marcus Mariota. He just is. I can just show you the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Mariota fan. I'm not 20/20 hindsight. I said it before the draft. He doesn't have a great feel for playing quarterback. He'll take off when he probably shouldn't. He's in that no man's land sometimes of, I got to try this, and he makes big mistakes. He makes tumultuous turnovers that get returned for touchdowns. He's been a little better than I thought he would be as a pro quarterback, but he's 13-18 as a starter. His QBR was 20.
I take these out, put in Dr. Scholl's Athletic Series insoles for running. They help protect my feet.
21st the first year. Improved quite a bit to 12th and then 12th again this year. This is his third year, obviously, but Colin Kaepernick's just better than Marcus Mariota. Mm-hmm. So let's start there. Then let's go to Matt Castle. He did make a Pro Bowl at Kansas City after he won 11-5, missed the playoffs in New England. But it's just laughable to me that I'd forgotten he was the backup because who knew? And that's glaring that Matt Castle is the second string quarterback. And then we get to your first point, which is it's way beneath the dignity of Colin Kaepernick to even suggest that he should want to be the short-term third string quarterback behind Matt Castle and Marcus Mariota at Tennessee. Seriously? That's just painful to me to even think of the concept of that. But it has come to this. So now we get to the biggest question, and that is, what is it just over for Colin Kaepernick? And I've thought, since we're now 4 games into the season, I'm pretty sure it's over. I think this league has quietly rejected the whole notion of Colin Kaepernick. Pretty clear, right?
Yes.
Because we just keep doing these, and I got to knock on wood for all those quarterbacks, but somebody else will get hurt. You know it, and I know it. It just, history tells you they will. And then we'll do it again the next day. Why didn't they call Colin Kaepernick? I think nobody's going to call Colin Kaepernick.
And what has everyone been saying? As soon as there's an injury, Colin Kaepernick will get a call.
No.
Well, we've had guys tear the ACLs. We've had guys that's going to be out for the entire season.
Yep.
And yet, we get a guy, we talk about it, and we ask the fans, what do they think about this? And we ask a few people, and boom.
And don't underestimate what a threat he is, even beyond the activism, the protests, but just because he's really good. He's a good player. He's proven over time to be very good. I know he's been beat up and had a rough run the last couple of years in San Francisco, but they were bad, and he sort of rose above them, especially last year. I thought he played 3 or 4 big-time games.
Also.
But you have to be careful now because I think that's why he didn't get the backup job at Seattle. He's too good for his own good. He was going to be a threat to Russell Wilson. And in this case, trust me, if you cut Matt Castle and brought in Colin Kaepernick to be the obvious backup because he runs the same style of offense as Mariota, he would, if he got a shot, he would become a threat to Marcus Mariota. And they don't want that in that franchise. They bet on him. They bet their future on him. They picked him high. They're going to stick with him. They love him. He's a great young man, blah, blah, blah. You've heard all. And he is a good, he's a good guy. And Malarkey and the coaches just love him. And I get all that. But now it brings us back to the question of why didn't Colin get a job this year? Obviously, he's not just one of the protesters. You said you're trying to teach these other protesters a lesson, but they're not risking their jobs. No. Anybody who takes a knee now is not risking their job. He was the trailblazer.
Yeah, he's the face.
He was the tone setter. He was the guy.
Yeah.
He went down in history as the guy who broke through. Mm-hmm. He was on the cover of Time magazine. So I'm going to ask this question again because a guy you know very well, close friend of mine, John Wooten, Fritz Pollard Alliance, head of the Fritz Pollard Alliance that oversees the Rooney Rule for the National Football League, continues to ask me and others in the media, why didn't Colin speak up sometime in training camp, maybe week 1 this year? Why didn't he make a public statement? Because I've tried to scour the internet. I'm pretty sure the last time Colin spoke publicly was after his final game that he played last year on January 1st for the San Francisco 49ers. He played pretty well in that game. They lost barely 25-23 to Seattle. Numbers were pretty good in that game. He went 17-22 for 215, ran 5 times for 16 yards, but they hung right in. It was a close game to the end. So that was it. That was the end of Colin Kaepernick as we knew him as an NFL quarterback. It's a long time ago.
Yes.
And he spoke briefly after that game, just about the game. And I'm pretty sure, even though he released a statement, I'm losing track of when it was, 3 months ago maybe, that I will stand for the anthem this year.
Correct.
But he has not spoken publicly. So I ask you, do you think that would have helped? See, John thinks that you gave the NFL an excuse because all John hears when he makes calls to teams, what's wrong with Colin Kaepernick? He continues to hear from front office people all around the league, well, we're not sure he wants to play anymore. Is he now a full-time activist, or what's going on with him because he doesn't speak up anymore?
No, Colin gave him an excuse when he took that knee during the anthem. That was the excuse that they needed.
Okay, but do you think, in all objectivity, would it have helped him to speak? Just do a media session. Come on, come all. I'll tell you exactly where I am, that I want to, whatever, I don't know what he has to say, but that he's ready to play football.
No, I don't, Skip, because then I would be under the impression that had he spoke, that changes his ability to play quarterback.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.
Okay. I tell you, Tennessee. How can I start this off? I ain't got no more to say. Y'all just read the link down in the description. I'll leave it there. And that's all I got to say. No more talk.